Welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have Jesse Topp here.
Yeah.
Going to be talking about real estate, about his journey in real estate and
Yep.
life and a bunch of things. So
Yeah, totally, man. Thanks for having me.
coming out.
Right on.
All right, so let's talk about your journey, where you started as an entrepreneur. What was the first? Maybe we should start with where you grew up, how your life kind of started, and go into that. I know you had some
some issues.
crazy
for sure.
issues in the past and
Yeah,
whatever.
man, it's all part of like a path, right? That's what I look at it like now. But I grew up in Dunnville, which is about an hour south of Hamilton, just a small little town. It's probably similar to like Wingham, right? Good town, good people, just not a lot of opportunity. I have a lot of, I don't know if it's ADHD, undiagnosed, whatever, just a ton of energy. Anybody that's around me knows that. The town just wasn't suiting me, so I left after some hardship or whatever, and then I ended up finding my way to Owen Sound. Met my wife, found Port Elgin. She was living in Saugeen Shores, and man, I'll never looked back.
So what year? How old were you when you moved to Port Elgin?
I was that would have been 12. I'm 43 now. I would have been about 33, I guess,
Okay.
so about 11 years. Never looked back. I'll never leave that place unless something crazy changes. But I'm actually like, I love the town. I was joking around with Sarah the other day that I'm going to run for council, and she actually thinks I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Well, actually, I think she knows me well enough to know that I'm like actually half serious. Not for money, because I looked up what you make to be on the town council, and it's definitely not a profitable venture for me, anyways. But just to like protect the town, just because I have, like you, man, like if I believe in something, or you strike me as the type, if you believe in something, man, this is your belief and this is what you believe, right?
Yeah, I
I'm
really
the same.
admire that about you. That you're focused in Port Elgin. That's pretty
That's
much
where I
where you do
am,
all
man.
your business,
Yep.
all your stuff is happening.
I give back to the community. I take from the community. I'm involved in the community. People ask me for things. I have zero problem with doing it because I love the town. Other places I've lived, I not so much. Just like nothing against them. It's just I like how the town is ran. It's very, very forward thinking. Like I just seen a thing last night at town council. I sometimes will watch the meetings online. I wasn't watching last night, or I think it was Tuesday night. They just did like I think 146 unit approval for affordable housing. And it was just like I never even heard that this thing was coming, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's approved, and they're going to start building in the next couple of months. Like that doesn't, as you know, you're a developer and a land guy and a realtor. That doesn't happen. Like it's a lot of red tape, a lot of time, a lot of permits, a lot of parties are for it, a lot are against it. Saugeen Shores, they just continue to like blow my mind with stuff like that. It's like, yep, passed. Okay, go build it. They're building this massive wellness center, like swimming pools. It's got a gym in it, so people are, oh man, it's gonna hurt your business. It's like, man, that I don't care about that. It's like the community is huge. It's this beautiful center which I'm going to use with my kid and my wife. You know, it's just like they just keep putting out these like just the forward thinking of that community is I can't say enough about it. I'm just super grateful to live there.
What kind of people are in Port Elgin? What's the geographic?
Yeah, you get like a mixed bag of people, right? You have locals that grew up there, like Sarah and her family. Sarah's my wife, for anybody who's listening or watching. Her and her family grew up there. Her grandfather moved there from Sarnia when the nuclear power plant started to get built. So you have like people like that, and they've raised their family there. You have a lot of people that are transient that come in on contract. Bruce Power's just doing what's called the MCR, major component replacement, right now. Thousands and thousands, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of workers migrate to that area, short term to medium term, anywhere from a month to 6 months to a year, some a little bit longer. Some of them, what ends up happening is, and then they go back, they're unionized usually, so then they go to a different job. Some of them, I'm not gonna say half because I don't know the statistic, it would be just bullshit. I see a lot of them, what ends up happening is they come a few times and then they end up staying and end up buying a property, hopefully for me, and or they'll start renting and then they move their family up here because they see how beautiful it is. Like I talk about the economy of it. I don't even talk about the beach. Like the beach is, have you been?
Yeah, I have
And the
been.
beach is like, Sarah and I have traveled everywhere, love the beach, love water, and literally have what I think is like one of the best beaches in the world, like a 4-minute bike ride from my house. It's like unreal. So the demographic of people is generally the plant draws that type of people in, right? From an income standpoint, you have everywhere from lower income to mid class to upper class, or a lot of highly educated people because of Bruce Power, right? Mm-hmm. It just draws that type of people. Not that it matters what they make or whatever. It's just a certain lifestyle of people there. I find it's like fits the mold. I'm all pro like Port Elgin. One day I probably will run for council, and we'll be buddies. I feel like you and I will be buddies for a long, long time. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like we met and it's like, oh, Frank, I really like this guy, and I feel like it's the same. It's mutual. So I think in 10 years, you and I will be having lunch and be like, so I heard you on town council. It's a good chance of that. Yeah, I hope so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about your past again. Let's go back to how did you get involved with your I'm not sure, was it a gang that you were involved?
No,
Drugs?
man.
Was it
Oh, you're
just-
talking about my past. My past.
Yeah, you're deep.
Yeah, man. Demons. Well, I don't know if everybody has them, but I've done enough recovery and enough self-work to know that I have them. You know, as a man, it's like, it's tough to admit, right? It's like, man, I'm not perfect. But when I admitted I wasn't perfect, that's when really I feel like there was like a door that opened, right, for some faith to come in. I got into drugs. I was always a partier and a drinker from like a young age, like 13. Got introduced to drugs, small town, right, not much to do.
And that would have been in Hamilton?
That was in Dunnville.
Oh, Dunnville.
Yeah, I would have been like 14 or 15, got into drugs, and then it escalated substantially. It's just like anything, you know, it had like little journeys inside that journey of like, you know, at one part of my life, I was into this type of scene, like electronic music. When it just first came out, it was like, I think raves actually still were underground at that time. Like they weren't even publicly known. And then, you know, I got into alcohol and cocaine. That was a big one. And then at the end, that was early 20s. At the end, I got into, it was mostly opiates. I was always working. I always worked. I'm actually a steel fitter by trade. I'm a metal fabricator. Like I have my red steel ticket and I enjoyed that. But inside that industry pills is a big thing. You know, a lot of guys get hurt, a lot of Percocets floating around, a lot of Oxycontin at that time was a big thing. You know, and it's like doctors were giving them out. Steel workers tended to have, they were always around. So I kind of got hooked on those, or not kind of, I got hooked on those. I got hurt. I hurt my back and they gave me Percocet. And then I was drinking a lot at the time, just like living the blue collar. Not
Trying to numb the pain.
Yeah, and just not living a good life, you know, and smoking cigarettes. I can't even imagine smoking a cigarette now. About 2 years ago, yeah, I know. 2 years ago, I grabbed my brother-in-law. He was smoking. He has a few cigarettes when he drinks. I said, "Give me one of those." And I took a puff off it, and oh man, I almost dropped. Sarah's like, "You're such an idiot." Anyways, back to the. Yeah, so then in my late 20s, I really got into opiates, and man, it ran my life. I had every single day I had to have some sort of opiate, or I felt sick. What I thought was just like a physical addiction, though, man, was like in reality was an obsession. I was obsessed. I've learned through therapy to convert that obsession to other things, and we can talk about that after. It's like people are like, "Man, you do so much." It's like I have to. I don't know what else. That's just how my brain works.
Well, you were saying before ADHD, I think I have ADHD, so I can somewhat relate to, like, you always need something going. You're always looking for the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have you on social media. You may, right? Because it's like, but look what it does, though. Like, I just walked in today, and you got a full-on podcast booth in your office. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think you can use that as a superpower
Totally.
to your business or whatever. But
If you can manage it.
on the flip side, yeah, if you can manage it. On the flip side of that is if you can't, I think that's where getting into drugs, anything addictive, can be like really bad for you.
Totally, because you just jump all in, right? And then it's probably maybe too to slow things down. The other part of that, though, and I should talk about, is like just spiritually robbed. You know what I mean? It's like, I now believe in God. I'm a Christian. I'm sober. I found him through my addiction, thank God, which is why I'm okay talking about it now. But at the time, just like, you know, I don't know if you've ever had this, but like walking around like, what is this all for? Like, what am I even doing? Why
are we born?
Why are we here? Yeah, and not just having that like loss of like, what are we actually doing? You know, and then the like what comes along with that, just like basically a dark cloud following you around, and when you're putting that out, that's what comes back, and that's what came back to me. Then in my early 30s, I was always, you know, in a little bit of trouble with the law. I ended up doing a little bit of time in jail, and I don't know if I'm the only one this has happened to. I don't think so. But I do know that jail was the recovery. I had been to rehabs and recovery programs, and I'm strong-willed and stubborn. And if I didn't want to be it, I just leave. You can't leave. It's like, yeah, well, I'm out of here. Have a good day. This is not for me, but it was for me. When I got to jail, though, obviously I'm not leaving, right? They're just not letting me walk. They don't care who I am. They don't care who my parents are, and they don't care what my background is. They're just like, you're not going nowhere. And that forced me to dry up, right? I got off the booze, I got off the pills, I got off the coke, I got off all this other stuff I was involved in. And then what it also did was it made me actually for the first time, and I shared this with you and Henry at lunch, it made me pray for the first time. And it's like, I don't talk about this a lot.
What was that like? You were just at a point where
Yeah, man.
you're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't. I had already actually pretty much. I always compare it to somebody that's like has a disease that's going to be life ending. Just say cancer for lack of a better one. Everyone knows what it is. Like if a doctor said to me, "Listen, dude, you got pancreatic cancer. You got 2 months. You know, I have a date when I'm going to die, but in my mind, I'm going to have to accept it." I didn't know the date, but I had already accepted I'm going to die just because. I don't want to talk about it too much on here, but just the life I was living was like. Man, it was in the depths of the depths, like the stuff that you see on TV, like, oh my God, I can't believe they live like that. Like that's what I was doing. So it was easy for me to be like, I know I'm dead. I can't get off the drugs. I have nowhere to stay. I can't have any money because any money I have, I spend on drugs. I don't even buy food with it, like for days. So it's like, for me, it's like, I already knew death was where it was at. And then, but when I got caught and when I was in jail, well, now all of a sudden I've got food, I'm sleeping, I have a group of people around me that they're watching for me, whether it be inmates, not for my best interest, but like, you know, I'm not by myself, right? So what ended up happening was I was sleeping on the floor inside just like a correction center waiting for my court to go through. And I just, for the first time in my life, I prayed from my heart and I just said, man, I don't know if there's something bigger. Sometimes I get choked up when I talk about this because, man, it's powerful. I don't know if there's something bigger, but I know that because I started coming out of the fog of the drugs, but I know I want to live. I don't want to die because I kind of did want to die because it's painful to do that every day, right? Robbing and stealing and doing all this crazy stuff. So then I don't know what happened, but over the course of like the next 3 to 6 months, the stuff and the way I used to think changed. The guys that I used to want to hang out with that were inside the jail, I would sit at the table and I just felt like I was one of them a week earlier, and then I felt like I was just like an outsider. Not because of them, just because.
And they probably felt that too, or what?
I don't know. I don't know if they did or not, but I just know I was like, what do you guys? They're talking about like what their next like job's going to be, or like a legal job, or like what's their next scam in there is going to be. It's like that's what it is. It's criminal college, and I was all for it at first, until that day, and then I prayed again. And then I'm sitting there, it's just like, I just remember being like, this is not me, man. This is not what I am anymore. And then God did me a huge solid, because I was still kind of like on the fence. It's like, man, did it actually work? You know, I'm sure you've, like, did praying actually work? Am I changing? And I had this, I'll just quickly tell, I don't want to burn up too much of your time. I want to talk about real estate, but this is like a pretty neat thing that happened to me. Inside the jails, you have people that run them. Right? They like the cops run them, but the cops don't actually run them. The inmates run them. You got to think you're in there with some pretty hardened criminals. If they say to do something, you're going to do it, or you're going to fight. Which I don't mind fighting, but there's some pretty freaking serious dudes, right? So it's like, anyways, this guy, he's kind of running this area. It's called the range where I'm living in, and he said he died just recently. God bless him. And he was a hard dude. I knew he was a hard dude. He kind of took a liking to me, but I think he was kind of like trying to work me over for something. He was probably trying to get food or. You know, but then something with him, somehow we got talking about God, and he used to go to church on Sundays. A week prior, I had kind of gotten into an altercation. Well, I got into a fight with this guy in there, and he was colored, and this guy I'm talking about was colored, and there is the race thing. So when church came on Sunday, the fight was done, it was over, I didn't think much of it. When church came on Sundays, the guy who ran it he'd go to church. So he comes over to me. I'd never been to church, ever, unless it was a wedding or something. Church in jail, he comes over, and as they're calling, you guys want to come to church, he taps me and he says, you're coming to church. It's like, I'm not going. I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm not going to church. What am I going to go to church? You're coming to church. Well, church in there is used to find God. Some guys are there for that, but a lot of it's used to pass drugs or to get somebody, meaning there's somebody else in the jail that wants to get to me, because the jail comes together. Different ranges all come together in one room for church.
So the church is in the jail?
Church is in the jail.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're not leaving. No, you're cuffed up and you're going down. And he says, you're coming to church. I said, I'm not going to church. You're coming to church. And he's one of these guys that's like, even to this day, probably, I don't think now, if he told me to do something, I'd probably not do it. But in there, it's like, okay. He's like, you're coming. when someone's stern and like basically telling me, overtaught me, like, you don't have an option. You're coming to church. I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I had thought I'm getting stabbed, beaten at the very least. Like at the very least, I'm going to catch a serious beating here for what I did a couple weeks ago. You can't say no, because if I say no, then the option there is they just tell you you got to leave, and then they check you in and they put you into protective custody, which is basically full of pedophiles, and I'm not living in there. So I'm going to take that's just not okay. So I'm going to take my beat and I'm going to go to church. I get to church. Man, he actually got me there because he's seen a difference in me. I don't know if he knew that I prayed, but he told me he got me there, and I'm like, and there's all guys around me, guys from his like crew of guys sitting around me, and I'm like, I'm getting it. This like, and when you get in there, it's not just like a bar fight. Like a lot of times they'll unhinge your jaw so you can't eat, and you have to. It's just a mess. Anyways, it was a crazy time in my life. When I got there, though, he sit beside me, so I sat beside him, and we go to church, and I'm waiting. We're doing the whole church thing, waiting for somebody to jump me. Like I'm ready, like I got my shoes all ready to come off, like I'm ready to rock. And nothing happened. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, they're gonna get me on my way back to my cell then. Like probably stab me or something, right? So it's like, okay, so it's crazy to talk like that now. Like they're probably just gonna stab me or something. Yeah. But you see it all the time, so it's like, I'll be okay. I'll spend, a month in the infirmary, I'll come back out, and everything will be fine. Get back to this thing, and I'm back in our range, and nothing happened. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this weird? So I just go straight up ask him, and you have to actually ask permission to like, hey, can I go back? Because they kind of, the guys that run it stay. Can I talk to him? Yeah. So I go back. What gives, man? Like I thought you were gonna get me there. No, man. He's like, you're not one of us. You don't need to be here. This isn't for you. You have the potential. I can see it in you. Just because he was a real drug trafficker, like heavy drug trafficker. He says, this isn't for you, man. You can go out and do some stuff. I am gonna cry. He says, go find God, and do the things, man. Get away from these people. This is not you. And bro, you want to talk about a powerful experience. You've got this heavy hitter, basically, who I thought was gonna have me, well, at the very least, beaten to a pulp, basically leads me to God and says, I took you there, now you do the work and get out of here, and we don't want to see you back here. That was a life-changing experience for me. Life-changing, obviously.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because since then, I haven't touched drugs. I've had a little battle with benzodiazepines, just like through COVID, to try to like just lessen COVID and going in the gym and financial stress. Got off all that stuff. Alcohol, I haven't touched a drop of alcohol. Any other drugs I don't do, I don't touch anything. My biggest thing I do is caffeine. And
so coming out of jail then, was that urge to drink and do all of that, like that pretty much just gone?
It was gone. I got out, they ended up shipping me off. After that, I still was fighting, and I got in trouble there. Well, you have to fight. And I know everybody's watching this if you know who I am. I'm a martial artist. I've always loved fighting. I don't like to hurt people anymore, but I don't know, it's always been me, I guess. So I got in trouble there, a couple fights, and they shipped me off to Penetang, which is a massive super jail up in Penetang. And when I got released from there, and I was like fantasizing, like, oh, I'm gonna get high, I'm gonna get drunk, and it's still like. So I went out, and actually I was released with a guy, and we got some drugs and we got some alcohol, and we went and we were gonna party, and man, I did it, and I was like, this sucks. This is not at all.
Totally different than what it was before.
Man, it would be like drinking gasoline. Where before that was like my fire, and I just do it, and I was like, this sucks. What was I even thinking? This is awful. And that was it, man. I haven't touched a drink since. It's 12 years. Since then, though, I do some stuff. Like I go to AA. Some people say stuff about it, but like, man, it keeps me sober, and it keeps me out of having to go to church thinking I'm going to get killed. I don't go to church, but I am very faith-based. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I don't go and shoot it at the top of the rooftops. You and I got talking about because we went out for lunch, right? And you had said something about faith, which I don't know if you noticed, but my head snapped right around. Because, well, you know how it is, Abe. If you bring it up to the wrong people, sometimes there's like this hype around it, right? And yeah, man, it's so as soon as you brought it up, I was like, oh, these are like my people, And when you've gone through something like that, and when, now that I call myself like I've been saved, it's kind of hard for me not to. I would be really, really arrogant if I believed that there was no God. basically, because
After all that
it removed
happened.
the obsession to drink, right? It removed the obsession to use drugs. It made me want to be a better person. It made me want to be, a good partner to my wife. It made me want to be a good son, a good brother, a good friend, where I couldn't do that on my own for 32 years. I was a shitty friend, a shitty son, a shitty partner. Any girlfriend I had, we'd break up. It wasn't them. It was genuinely me. I think it was them, but it was me. It's like, so it's hard for me to deny that there's not a God working for me in my best interest, because once I put him in my life, it's like, well, life is really
Never want to go back to the
dude,
old life.
Never, ever. Life is really, really, really good, man. I have some good people around me. You being one of them, Henry, Ken. I have like some really cool people, so.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is
man.
a really, really good story.
Yeah. I don't share it too publicly because sometimes if you are watching or listening to this, I don't want you to judge me based on my past. Yeah, I made some mistakes, but I think part of man and me being a man too is like owning them. Like, yeah, I did that. It's like, it's not hard to find out, right? Google, I'm not going to lie and say I'm something I'm not. So don't judge me if you're watching this or you want to work with me as a realtor or you want to do investors and some sort of investment thing with me. That was 10, 12 years ago. I'm just owning it now. That's all. I'm just like, this is what I did. This is what's up.
I think it's interesting sometimes that to share that and let people know a bit about your past. Like if people want to judge you and not do business with you because of that, you probably shouldn't have been with them in the first place, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it kind of unfilters that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad that you asked me to come do this. One, I was looking forward to hanging out with you and seeing your thing. I have utmost respect for you, always have. And two, I just like it's a good platform to share, right? Like so people can understand, like, and they too. It's like if you go on my social media, you see all this great, awesome, grandiose life. But hey, man, there was a lot where I had literally nothing, literally not a dollar. So.
And that's what's always interesting too. I find the people admire other people and their success and think, man, how did you get there? But what's always invisible is that past. What did you go through, right?
Yeah, because you've been through the same.
I'm totally different than with
but
you, but
struggles,
yes, a lot of struggles too in
Yeah.
my early days for sure.
You just told me before we started this you couldn't speak English at age 12.
Yeah.
Like, dude. So it's not alcohol and drugs, but it's
Probably different than in jail, but man, like
But
when
it's
you want to
still
talk
hard.
to people and you can't because you don't know the language, like
Yeah.
it's hard.
that's hard. That's very, 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 very hard.
And I can accept it if I don't speak Spanish. Like if I go to Mexico and I can't talk, it's like, okay, I'm a visitor. I'll use
Yeah.
my translator or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But if it's your country, you
Yeah.
moved here, your parents are here, you live here,
Yeah.
and you can't speak the language.
Very,
man, it's
very
hard.
frustrating. Yeah. And you've done well. Like, so how did you learn how to speak English?
Mostly through texting. I had some good friends at the time, and
No way.
back when phones
Yeah.
kind of first came out, and everybody was texting, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how most of it. And then it's just, I'm still learning to this day, right? So
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, right on.
well, let's talk a bit about your real estate journey. So you got licensed 3 months ago, 2 months ago?
I was licensed. I finally got licensed in June, but I've been in real estate. I was adding it up on the way here. It's 2025 now. I always keep thinking it's 2026. I've been into real estate, heavily into it since 2018. So what's that?
Real estate investing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the investing part first.
Yeah, for sure. Well, just because the actual getting my license in June is just like, well, you've only been licensed for 4 months. It's like, yeah, well, as an investor, I understand really, really well how mortgages work, as you know, right? It's like you're an investor,
Yeah.
I understand how the financing works. As an investor, you learn about land, you learn about severance, you learn about permits, you learn about the laws of making a deal, you learn about negotiating, you learn about the deposits, you learn about the contracts. I can go on and on and on.
It's too bad we can't use the real experience to
That's what I was
pass
getting
through
at.
a couple of courses.
Because
right?
I did the course, and I'll be honest, I haven't really used much of that stuff since. So not knocking on new realtors, because I am technically a new realtor, but I just feel like having yours and mine investing background is like, it's like we were like in university. And then when I went and got my license, was like I was in grade school. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is really easy. Actually, I found the test to be more like just the wording of it to be difficult. I didn't have a hard time with the content. It's like, well, yeah, obviously you have to give a deposit to buy the property. And if the property doesn't close, the buyer gets the deposit back. How's that even a question? But then they'd have 4 questions on there, or 4 answers that all said the same thing but different. You know what I'm talking about? So, so I just find like as an investor for that long, it's really helped me become a good realtor. Like I'm really digging it. How long you been doing?
I got my real estate license about 5 years ago.
Okay, nice.
Just over 5 years ago.
Yep.
Before that, I did a bit of real estate investing, very little. Bought my first home when I was 19,
Okay.
which was in 2020 or in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I kind of fell in love with
Yeah.
real estate. I knew this was what I wanted to do.
For sure.
Did a flip before that, and then got my license, and then after that, it just kind of was.
Your thing.
That's where it really started. So.
Is that where you spend most of your time now? Is as a realtor, or because you're like we're the same that way. You've got what hat are you wearing today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you spend most of your time with when it comes to work? I know
my focus. I wouldn't say necessarily time, but my focus and energy. I would say probably 80% is real estate. 60 to 80% is real estate related, which is not just investing. That's my clients. Probably about 40% of my time. And then energy goes towards clients. The rest is all investing and focusing on building my own portfolio.
Yeah.
And then the other 20% of work would be our sauna business, our
Okay.
Elgin sauna business. So.
Yeah, which are awesome, by the way. If you're looking to buy a sauna, I just bought one. It's absolutely incredible. Sarah and I use it. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Yeah, work out every day, then we go sit in the sauna. It's good too, because we get to connect, right? Shut the door, and it's like my wife and I in your sauna, and the sauna we got from you or bought from you. It's just like they're awesome. Big plug in there for the saunas. They're great, man.
Yeah, and what you'll really notice in the sauna probably is health. I had a lot of health issues. I still have some, but I used to get sick every 3 months, like sick to the point where I couldn't get out of bed.
Like virus, like cold or
cold, fever.
yeah, just sick.
Yeah, flu, whatever. Just
Not anymore.
last time I was trying to count the other day, I think it's been about 2 years now since
It's
I've been
wild.
like.
But you also said that you eat. I remember we went out for lunch. Like I remember when we walked around the corner, and I'm really picky on what I put in my body now. And I wanted to have lunch with you guys. I remember you walked around. Do you remember this? And you're like, "Yeah, there's nothing there I can eat." Meanwhile, there's like lines and lines of food. We
All
both
it
just
is
kind of,
bread.
yeah. It's like nothing I can eat. You're like, "There's nothing I can eat." And Henry's the same. It's like let's go eat some food, right? So yeah.
No, I think it's very important to watch what you put in your body. And,
you have to.
And then, so I take a lot of supplements, proteins.
Same.
And then watch what I eat. And then, so that got me to a better point. But the sauna, the regular sauna and cold plunge really took that to the next
Really,
level.
eh? Yeah. I find the sauna. I haven't done the cold plunging too much yet, but I find the sauna definitely. I don't know what it does, but I know when I wake up after sauna in the day before, it's like, oh, I feel good, mentally clear, crisp. Yeah. So to go back to real estate.
So in 2018, you got started with invest. Is that when you bought your first home? When did you buy your first?
That's
real estate?
when. Well, I bought my first home when I was 25, so I actually bought my first home like.
So you had a good start from.
Oh yeah. I lost it all though, obviously through all my stuff, right? Yeah, I shouldn't say that. So when I really got back into it, but so I'm 43 now. I bought my first home when I was 24, actually. I had that. I had another home that I had bought and did renovations and flipped. I've had a few homes in between there. I don't really count that though, just because, I wasn't in the investor mindset then. Like it wasn't like something I would sit and study. I was just doing it because I knew that would be real estate is a good vehicle, right? To get, build some wealth. In 2018, I started taking it seriously. When did the pandemic hit? 2019 or 2020?
2020.
Yeah. So I had the gym going when the pandemic hit. And, we had just invested a lot of money into it, Sarah and I both. She had quit Bruce Power to come work at the gym, and I needed her help, and it was exploding, and it was great. But then when the government shut us down, every business down, I just remember I was pissed, right? And it's like, it is what it is at this point. But I said to Sarah, we just had all of the stuff that we worked for ripped away from us. And if we reopen, I will reopen if I wanted to, but it wasn't the right thing to do. I said, we just had all the stuff we've worked for just ripped away from us, just like that, boom, done. I was like, I can't do that anymore. It's like, you quit Bruce Power. I promised you that would be a good move. And right now we have zero money coming in. All of our money's wrapped up in a company that we can't even open the doors. We need something else. So then my dad was an entrepreneur. My dad owned a business at the house. It was an auto body shop. He used to buy cars, sell them, fix them. It was a pretty decent size operation. And I seen that growing up. So I've always had this kind of hustler kind of, ability to make funds or revenue. And then when that happened with the gym, I just said to Sarah, I'm going all in. I'm gonna get on my I call it my game. I'm gonna get on the game and I'm gonna figure something out. I praise my wife too, right? Because she never really second guesses me. She gets pissed like if I've lost some money in the stocks and markets and on some properties, and like it's not like usually $5 or
It's funny
it's just like 50,
the
100.
little bit amount of money that you lose, they always come and point that out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like you lost 60 grand on that. It's like, yeah, but I made 180 on this. Like you lost 15 grand on silver stock. It's like, yeah, but well, actually, there's no but. I actually lost that. So what was I saying with that? So anyways, I said to her, we have to get something else going. And then we bought our first mentorship. It was Mel and Dave, Mel and Dave Dupuy. I bought into their mentorship, and then that's when it just opened the doors. I started studying using that ADHD obsessive mindset. I studied and studied and studied and studied. Bought a property, bought a commercial building in Port Elgin, then bought another one like a couple months later. Went down to Dominican Republic, bought 2 down there, 2 rentals down there, short-term rentals, and it was good, man. And then that took me to the next level of investing, where it's like, okay, I think I can wrap my head around this now. Before that, I didn't even know what a BRRRR was, even though I was doing like a BRRRR buy. I know that but buy, renovate, rent. Refinance,
repeat.
and then repeat, right? So that's called a BRRRR for anybody that's listening. I was doing that, but I didn't even know what that was. But when like yourself too, when we sit at tables with everybody's doing that, it's just like, well, it's just normal. Mm-hmm. But then to look back, it's like actually normal, actual people, they don't understand what that is. So you look back at how far everything has come in the last 7 or 8 years. And then I joined Ken's mentorship. That's how you and I really connected. I think we met each other a different way too, though. Did we know each other sometime outside of Ken's? Was it the hot tub thing? Was it you that I met, or Henry? I can't remember.
I think I met you through Henry. Yeah.
Was it through Henry? Yeah.
I wasn't part of the syndicate or anything at that point.
And then
yet,
but then you had ended up joining afterwards. Yeah, it was through Henry. You're right.
So when did you start because you've done several flips as well now, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When was the first flip that you?
Well, not including the ones that I did from 25 years old to 30 years old. Right. It would have been 3 years ago. Okay. And then I actually did a couple down in Dominican just because the country was closed. And like I said, I was just trying to figure out anything to make some money. And plus I love it down there. So, so we did some work down there, and then I did a couple real back-to-back right here. And it was good. It was good. It's just, for me, the amount of work that it was putting in and the return on it, I found not to be worth it for me personally. Also, since then I've had my son, Meyer, right? And
that changes everything, right?
people told me that. Ken told me, it's going to change you. I said, no, wait, man, I'll work forever. I'm a workaholic. I will hustle and I will work. Yeah, it changed me. He was about 6 months old, and I was working down at Ken's office in Whitby, and I was going down there like 3 days a week. I'd be down there, stay, come back, right? Make some cash, come back or whatever. And then I would come back, and Meyer was then at the age where he would be weird with me. Like almost giving me attitude, like what's your deal? Like, where were you? But not knowing that, not that he was, but it's like, to me, that was like, I remember waking him up. I was so excited to wake him up out of his crib when I got home from being down the city. And he would just like, I was thinking he'd be like, Dada. And he'd just like, look at me. Like, I'd be like, buddy, it's me. He'd just be like staring. And you're a dad. I was like, okay, that happened like once or twice. I was like, yeah, it's not acceptable. I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care what's coming out of this. That's not acceptable. I'll live in a small apartment and wake up every day with my kid, and I do now. Sarah and I both, every day, we not wrestle, but we race to get in to see who's going to get him up first, right? So yeah, that changed everything. And then, I went and got my license, and it just took right off, and man, I love it. I've helped some friends get into some great properties.
Well, I see a lot of the stuff that you post, almost a sold sign, not every day, but
much
every week.
I got a couple more. I'm just waiting to post them. Yeah. Just because people, not that they couldn't do it by themselves, but like when you have a background like yours and mine, and you have a network of people that are mortgage brokers and private lenders, and you can go into the bank and they don't just pass you off to some junior underwriter. Not that I'm like Mr. Important, but you got to think I've done like, a couple $1 million in deals with a mortgage, more than that, probably 3 or 4 million in deals over the last year with a mortgage broker. When I call him, he tends to answer. Obviously, it's business. So then when you have a client that needs help and you call them and say, can you help these people? They're good people and they need help. Generally, they try to get the job done, right? So I feel like all of that house flipping stuff and all of the investing and buying the commercial buildings was, like I was saying to you before we were recording, it's like, that was like university to be a realtor. Actually getting my test was more like grade school, like just writing the test and getting that part done. But I feel like I went to school, like a university level school, by being an investor first, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Oh, for sure.
Same with you, I'm sure. It's like you can talk about a property at another level that people just, I don't know about other realtors. Well, I do, because I've worked with them as a buyer, and it's like they're just, they're doing the best they can, not knocking them at all. Please, I'm not like that. I want to work with everybody. But I just feel like
there's certain things they just can't.
they just don't know. They
no
don't,
one to
they
help
don't
you
know
with.
what a vendor take back is. They don't know what seller financing is. They don't understand how you can structure some creative financing to get a guy the house that him and his wife want. They don't understand, they say, well, FinTrack, you've got to track over $10,000, and it's like, okay, well, unless it's a gift from, there's just so many things that we know as investors, right? That's like, it's really serving me well as a realtor, which is helping me serve clients more.
Let's talk a bit about the brokerage. I think this would be an appropriate
EXP.
thing to put on because you're
Yeah,
with EXP. So
yeah.
tell me a bit about that. What,
Quick. You're with EXP too, right?
no, I'm not.
Oh, okay, but you went to the rally?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I was wondering about
Yeah, I was just, networking, and
Yeah, why not, right? Well, it's good information.
so I'm not promoting EXP at all. I'm not.
Yeah, man,
I'm
that's
more
awesome.
just learning and
Yeah.
I want to hear
That's a good way to be too, right? It's like, I don't know about other brokerages, but I hear like, just being licensed, I hear like a lot of stuff going back and forth. Do you like the buzz? Like, oh, this person's with that. And it's like, maybe I haven't been burned enough yet, which I don't care. I won't be burned. And if they do try to burn, then go for it, whatever. I just continue on my path. I don't play into the whole thing though. It's like, there's so much out there for everybody, and if we all kind of work together, Century 21, Keller Williams, Remax, EXP, you're serving the people rather than us being all, trying to, just doesn't make sense to me. That's how I operate. EXP for me was a no-brainer. Exponential growth, right? It's exactly what it stands for. It's exactly what I think. It's like exponential growth. Like it's just, your growth is basically unlimited. It was a no-brainer for me because most of my network is in EXP, either agent, investor, realtors I worked with. They're for me, some people I think go there, or I know go there because they have they have the stock option, they have lower, not commissions, splits, where you only pay a certain amount of money to the brokerage. And
There's a cap, right? Once you reach that cap.
So once you hit the cap, either 8,000 or 16,000, depending on what program you're in, then you don't pay anymore up to EXP, which that's not at all why I'm there. I think a lot of people go there, but I could really care less about that. Now, if they were taking 50%, I would care a lot about that, but I'm in the 16,000 program, and it's like if I make 16,000 in commission and I have to pay it, well, that's the name of the game, to use the brand and to make sure my paperwork's in line. I'm okay with that.
How do you find the brand? How are people?
That's what I was just going to talk about.
Okay.
That's why I'm there. Okay. That is why I'm there. I'm there because when I walk into a room, it's people like you, it's me, Courtney Atkinson, Kyle Ford now, Brandon and Micah from down in Kitchener and Waterloo, Jen Lamont from Port Elgin. It's like there's and everybody's so forward thinking. It's like if you look in there too, a lot of people are really fit. They're generally really happy.
Well, the health, I remember that about the rally. They're really talking about health.
Health and mindset and taking care of yourself first. And it's like that aligns with everything that I believe in. So for me, it's like I didn't even look at another brokerage, because when I see stuff like that, beyond all the money and business and all the help they give you and support, but when I see stuff that aligns with my core beliefs and values, health and fitness, mental health, number one. Obviously, having an addiction background, mental health is always number one with me. Not just being a slave for a company where it's like, hey, you can work or not work. If you want to work really hard and you're going to make $500,000, you just have to pay us $16,000. But if you want to not work hard and make $50,000, you only have to pay us $8,000, right? Like that's kind of the basis of the program. It's like, well, that's pretty awesome. It works for everybody. And I just like the vibe of when we were at the rally, right? It's just so many people in there and deals getting cut. And so for me, it was just a no-brainer, basically.
Awesome. So let's talk a bit about back to being a realtor. So you got, beginning of the year, you got licensed. Yep. What was that? Obviously, you had the experience. Everything you probably knew how to do an offer in and out because you've done offers yourself personally, right?
Yeah.
How did that experience, I guess my question is, how did you find clients, networking and clients? How did you just kind of let everybody know, hey, I'm a realtor? Did you?
I had so I post on my social media a lot because of investment. when I was doing the house flipping and I had a couple other projects, I was looking for investors, which I got, which for the record, I added it up just on the way here, over $500,000 in the last year and 3 months. I borrowed from private investors and mortgagers, all paid back in full interest payments. Some of them with a little bit of bonus or juice on top of it to just say, hey, thanks for like not blowing up my phone every day, wondering where your $100,000 is. I appreciate that. Thank you for working with me. So so that was just a side plug if I'm ever looking for investors. But when I was putting that content out, what it did was it attracted people to me as a real estate. Oh man, I didn't even know you're in real estate. I didn't know you're in real estate. Like those kind of conversations, right? And then it just took one or two people to say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. Can you help me? When I get over there and they're like, oh, we just want to upgrade to, $1 million home, but ours is only worth this. How can we do it? And it's like, going back to being an investment university, right? It's like, oh, that's no problem. But to them, that's not in their wheelhouse, so they're not expected to know that. But as a realtor and an investor for quite a while, I can go in and say, oh, well, then we can just structure it like this, and let me put you in touch with this person. Let's see what we can figure out for you. And if they can, great. If not, then no problem. It took one or two of those types of deals, and it turned into, hey, can you come see me about my house? Hey, can we talk about my house? Hey, to the point now where it's like, hey, Sarah's Hasbro, like no more phones. It's past 6 o'clock at the house. I understand you're a realtor and it's very busy for you, but between 6 and 8, you need to be dad and husband, which I'm totally fine with. So I take my watch off, I take my phone, I set it down so no one can get a hold of me, and just dedicate that time. And then afterwards, it's busy, just like I'm sure your phone is, right? It's just like, how many messages,
Which one do I get back to first?
Yeah,
Who's going to be pissed off the most?
Pissed. I seen somebody yesterday, like, you messaged me, you never messaged me back from 2 days. I'm like, you have to. I don't want to bug you. I'm like, you have to. And it's not because I'm important, but it's the same as your phone, I'm sure. It's just like, well, you have multiple businesses, message. It's like, well, what's the biggest storm I should deal with first, right? So being a realtor has been great. I really started the social media stuff from investment, really helped it get off the ground. And now we're like amping it up. I'm about to go to another step up in the next like 6 months. I got some stuff coming down.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how does, I know you're not wearing your shirt right now, but you
EXP
wear
shirt.
your EXP shirt.
Yeah.
Does that help for
totally,
branding?
man. Yeah.
People see that?
Yeah, only reason I'm not wearing it today is because I couldn't find the one I wanted to wear. I don't know what I just got. So I got these nice golf shirts I wear, and I couldn't find the shirt I wanted to wear, and I was running out of time, and Meyer was late for school, and I said, I'll just wear this shirt. It's a comfortable shirt for a nice drive. But yeah, usually I wear always, since that's happened, every day I wear EXP gear around town. So whether I'm teaching jiu-jitsu, I'll have my gi, I wear a uniform and you can see EXP. It just strikes up a conversation. So any realtors watching, if you're just new, it strikes up, hey, I didn't even know you're in real estate. And when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, right on. That's what I'm looking for. And if that happens one time a day, you got to think over the course of the week, that's 7 conversations. And they're not conversations of like coming off a ClickFunnels, or an Instagram lead. It's like, man, it's a real conversation. Running into somebody at Tim Hortons, hey, I didn't know. What's EXP? Is that your company? No, not mine. It's actually a worldwide company. I seen you open an office in Port Elgin. That's also not mine. That's Jen Lamont's office. I just rent off her. I'm an independent contractor. But EXP is a great company, and we're in real estate, and then it just opens up that door to like conversation, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I bought a hat a little while at the beginning of the year. It had the Realtor logo on it.
Yep.
Small little Realtor logo on it, right? And I thought that would strike that conversation, get that conversation going. Nobody recognizes that Realtor symbol. Like,
the
it's
R
crazy.
symbol, the little R.
It's always so small on the signs
that
people don't recognize it. So I think EXP is way more powerful in terms of recognition than a Realtor sign.
And it's like realty, right? So as soon as people see that, and do you find, Abe, that people think real estate's sexy? Like if you go walking around with a Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin would be different because it's pretty hot right now. But if you go walking around with like an Apple stock, whatever the trading term is for it, on your shirt, people aren't going to come out and talk to you. The average person knows that real estate can be a vehicle for wealth. And maybe not like uber wealth, but enough wealth that like, they've seen their parents or they've seen an uncle or a friend do well and travel and spend all this time with their family and stuff. They know that real estate could be an avenue towards that. So people I find that they want to talk about a little bit. Like, hey, are you into real estate? What do you do? I know you're
What's the market like, right?
What's the market like? You probably hear that all the time.
Yeah.
It's a good time right now, right? So, yeah, I find that wearing that stuff around. Ken said that I was on a call with him yesterday about something, and he says, "Do you wear those shirts everywhere?" I was like, "Yeah, I actually do. I do." And to the point where like my wife's like, "Can you not wear an EXP shirt today, please? Like you're looking like a walking billboard again." I'm like, "It works though, and it's good." I go to events for that reason. I try to make sure I have a conversation once a day with somebody. I don't think
Take your wife out on a date and you got a big EXP.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I was at my son's thing on Tuesday, and I picked him up, and I had my shirt on. Perfect example. And she says, are you in real estate? I thought I seen your picture on a sign. I said, yeah, for sure. I'm a realtor. I've been in real estate for like 8 or 9 years, but I'm just a newly licensed realtor. And hey, I should have you out. I think we're going to sell. Boom. What better lead can you get than that? Face to face, somebody's talking to you, you're talking back. It's like, I don't need to go spend $1,500 a month on ad spend and run a funnel to some lead that's going to generate 30 leads. Maybe one of them converts, and plus I'm sitting at my computer. I'd rather just go do what I'm doing with my shirts, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it works, man. It works well.
I read somewhere or seen it on social media posts somewhere about you had made $100,000 in 2 or 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy. Like I think I did close to that my first 3 or 4 years or first 3 or 4 months. But in today's market, when there's a lot of realtors that are really struggling right now to even make a check at all to even get paid, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy about like, how did that feel for you just to make that up,
I'm not doing it. I shouldn't say I'm not doing it for the money, but like, well, it's Ken that posted that. And he says, "How much you think you made?" And I was like, "I don't know, man, like maybe 80, 100 grand." He's like, "You don't even know?" It's like, I don't know. Cause it's like the money's part of it. Yeah. But that's actually not it. Like, you know what I mean? I can't, it's not the real reason, which is probably why it's going so well. Cause I'm not,
when I started with real estate, I made that commitment too, that I'm not going to do it for the money.
Yeah.
My goal was actually to make 150 grand just to have a nice, living, cover my living costs or whatever.
Yeah.
Would be a lot more than my living costs, but I figured if I can make 150 grand, I'm solid. Like I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I way exceeded it.
Yeah, man. But it's not like you're like you're giving value. You're helping people. So you're the same. You have a huge network. You're helping people get the homes that they want. They probably maybe would have got, but maybe not would have got with another realtor.
But where else can you, besides real estate investing, where else can you make that kind of money?
You can't. Not without going to school for a ridiculous amount of time and coming out with a bunch of debt or working for somebody else. Maybe, God loved Bruce Power and it's great and I'm not knocking it. I love everybody there, but it's like I see them having to go and, and they make 150, 200, 300,000 a year. Good. That's awesome. For me, I don't fit that jive. Like I don't work well for others. I can't work for other people. So it's like I have to find another vehicle to do that, and real estate is the vehicle. Sure, some people invest in crypto. That's a big one right now, and not me personally. And I hear some people making it, and I hear some people, more people losing. I don't know enough about it, so it's not for me. But I do know that real estate for the average person, you can get in, even if you're just buying your first. I talked to your guy that was delivered my son. I can't remember his name. Isaac, yeah, bought his first house, and now he's like looking into getting into something else. It's like, even if you're just buying your first house to get you to your next house, that's an investment. That's like, it's not money that's sitting in the bank making you 4 points. Like over year, you're like 6 to 7%, depending geographically where you are. Year over year compounded, that's a pretty good investment. Mm-hmm. Plus, you're living in the house which you're paying for, which you're going to pay for shelter anyways. I go on forever. I don't want to get too.
And it's funny, during COVID, everybody wanted to get into real estate. Now it's really died down, but I think what people don't realize the amount of opportunity that there is right now.
Totally, man.
And I was talking to somebody about you mentioned vendor take back. A lot of realtors don't know what that is. When the seller basically is your bank, mortgages back that money to you.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a few people about that, and it's crazy how many deals, multifamily units there are right now, single family homes where it's older people, they're looking to sell, downgrade, whatever, sell their rental property, and you can do a vendor take back at reasonable interest rates because there's a tax benefit to them.
Massive tax benefit. Massive. If say my parents, for instance, they're retired, they don't have any money coming in. They living on their savings because my dad was a real estate investor. And they're now making, they're under poverty, so they're making 20 grand each a year. Well, now they sell one of their properties off for max dollar, 700,000. Well, what do you think the 700,000 minus expenses? That's all income. So now they're going from basically a zero income or $20,000 a year income, which is like taxed at 30 grand or 30% or something, to 700,000 capital gain tax, and it's like you're losing not half, but very, 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 very close to half. That is massively. Imagine like sitting on an investment thinking I got 700 grand coming in, and then you get it and you get 375. Like what? How did that happen? And that's the money that you have to live on for you and your wife for the next 20 years until you pass? No thanks, not happening.
And even if they got that full 700 back, what are they going to do? They're going to secure it somewhere in an investment. They're only going to get 2-3%
exactly
max,
on a safe investment. Where vendor take back, you know, they're going to hold the mortgage. Like I have one with a guy right now holding the mortgage. He makes 6% on his money. I give him enough money down on his building every month. Religiously on the first of the month, usually before 9 o'clock in the morning, we send him his mortgage payment, which is principal plus interest. That's how he wanted to structure it. So every month he's getting part of his money back, his capital back, or his principal back, and he's making $1,200 a month in interest to a retired couple. And the tax benefit of that is he's only making $1,200 a month, which times 12 months is, what's that, like say, what, like 15,000. The taxes on 15,000 compared to 700,000, if he would have took it in a lump sum, is significant. Is like massively significant. So for them, the downside, so them, it's a great situation for a vendor take back. The downside is if you don't have somebody that you trust doing business with, right? So if you do a vendor take back and the person's shitty, now you got to deal with getting them out of the building. Now you got to deal with taking your building back. Now you got to do the legal, like power of sale or foreclosure, whatever option you choose to, probably power of sale, to just get it gone, get your money back. So there is a bit of risk to it. But if you vet your people,
but normally you have pretty big chunk of down payments. So
and they take the down payment too. Like outside of Canada, you've done business in the States. Do you have some stuff in the States?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay, so outside of in Mexico, it's big. Dominican Republic, it's huge. The States, it's big. Vendor takebacks are everywhere. Just Canada seems to be a little bit, as usual, a little bit behind times, right? If you go outside of here, like down in Dominican, we were looking at buying our first property, and my buddies are, I'll sell it to you. I'm like, okay, well, how much? Am I going to have all cash? Oh, no. You give me 20% down. I'll hold the mortgage for the rest. Like, what? Yeah, for sure. And they want that.
Well, it's funny. In Mexico, I have a lot of family still in Mexico, and it's huge because
same thing.
The banks won't lend on it. So the only option is it's usually a 4 or 5 year vendor take back. So they have 4 or 5 different payments.
Yeah, to pay it back.
4 years. So there's a one-time payment each year for 4 years.
Yeah, and that's how they structure it. VTB one-time balloon payment, or I guess it'd be like 5 balloon payments over the course of 5 years, interest and principal to pay it off. Yeah.
Often there's even no interest. It's just principal.
It's not wild. It's like you're buying something off Marketplace. I'll pay you back over 5 years. Or in Canada, there's like red tape. You got to have a broker involved. You got to have this. You got to have certain licensing involved. It's got to be vetted. It's just like, holy crap.
I think part of the reason it's hard to get those deals sometimes is a lot of agents don't know, don't understand it, and they're going to tell their clients, "Oh no, don't do this."
Totally. Agents and lawyers. I've had lawyers train wreck VTBs, and then that was one of the final straws for me to say, you know what, I'm going to get my license. I had a deal in place. I ended up getting it because I had some cash that I could throw in to kind of smooth it over. The realtor I had working for me, I was instructing him on how to tell the person the VTB. And the other person I knew on the other side. So I said, but the realtor had to be the liaison legally. So I said, you need to tell them this for me. So he'd go and communicate that, but he was messing it up. So then the other person on the other side's getting a hold of me through another friend saying, what is this guy talking about? So finally, that was like my last straw as a realtor trying to negotiate my deals. It's like, just give me the freaking paper. I'll read this word, no knock on this person. Read this word for word to that guy, and he'll sign the document. Oh, okay, well, how does that work? It's like, man, how do you not know this? This is what like, okay, sure, if they don't come with a pre-approval, you can't sell a house? No, that's not it. Everyone can sell a house on a pre-approval. If you're pre-approved for $800,000, sure, let's go house shopping. It's like buying a used car. Like, but what about if you're only pre-approved for $600 and the house you and your family wants $800? Then what? And then I was finding like their realtors are just going, well, I guess you don't get the house. It's like, no. You can get the house. Let's make sure we're not getting you over leverage. Let's make sure your total debt service works. Let's make sure your gross debt service works. Now let's find you the money, right? So, yeah, I know that's probably a bit more than for the average person. I think
that's very good information for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's true. There's always ways. That all being said, disclaimer at the end of this, I'm saying that basically you and I with our network could probably get anybody a house, right? Don't over leverage yourself. There are certain ratios in play. I think total debt service is 44%. So 44% of your total household income should not exceed debt. If it does, and you're going up to 50, those numbers are in place for a reason. So basically the economy doesn't crash in the housing, at least in the housing market. So you have to follow the parameters. You can't lie, and you can't do things to like cheat those numbers. But there is things that you can do to creatively get those numbers to fit in the bubble so that you can get the mortgage and get the house you want, if that makes sense. Don't over leverage yourself, please. That's not the message I'm trying to send, because that's a whole other world. That ends in divorce and a lot of hardship. Don't over leverage yourself.
Yeah, that's good advice there.
Yeah, man.
Back to being a realtor. Do you do all the stuff? Do you write your own offers, or do you have team?
I have
assistant?
somebody doing it now, just because it got so busy so fast. I did my first 3 offers just to learn, because it's a lot, eh? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Realtors I've knocked in the past, like, I can't believe they're taking 2.5% for this deal. It's not even that much work. I am sorry. I'm on record saying I am sorry. It is a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of back and forth. So I did my first 3 deals, learned how to write the paperwork, understand the software, and then I outsourced it. I hired a rock star. I don't even want to call her an assistant. I hired a rock star partner to help me. And she writes all my offers, does all my paperwork, does all my back end stuff. So it's a great relationship. I'm on the road, I'm on my phone, I'm doing face-to-face stuff, and she's in the back. Like right now while we're doing this, she's preparing 2 CMAs, and we need to go to 2 clients and tell them they need to lower their price, and I need to bring them some sort of data to back that, so it's not word. So just when I walked in, I text her, can you please get these ready? Because when I leave here, that's my next stop.
Well,
on my way
when
home.
you leave, she's probably gonna tell you have an offer accepted somewhere.
I hope so. I'm waiting on something good right now, actually. Yeah. I hope so. So yeah, it's a good setup. I don't want to get much bigger than I already am. I don't want to have a team. Not that I'm like not open to it, but that's not for me in this stage of my life. When Myers in school, or at least a little older, then maybe that'd be something. But right now, it's like I'm enjoying being a dad, man. You know, I'm going to do this with you today. His nap time's done at 2:15. I'm going to be home. I'm going to stop and see those 2 people and talk to them. I'm going to be home for probably 2:15, 2:30, and wake them up and spend the next 2 or 3 hours with them. You know what I mean? It's like,
And I think that's the best part about being a realtor and also real estate investing is that freedom. Yes, you have to pick up those phone calls late at night, something breaks or whatever, tenant calls, you have to deal with that. But the offset of that is you have tremendous amount of free time if you, like you said, hire out your paperwork and all of that stuff, right? So in what job could you just, do this today and then go and spend some time with your son, right?
Yeah, you can't. You just can't. It's like, and still make a living, like a decent living, right? I think it's an awesome avenue for average people. A lot of people think it's like the schooling is too hard or it's going to take too long. Well, newsflash, you're gonna look back 20 years from now, and if you're thinking you should have did it now, you're gonna look back 20 years now like, fuck, I really wish I would have did that. Do you know what I mean? It's that good. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we covered a lot of stuff here. So if you're looking for a real estate investor in Port Elgin in that area somewhere, give Jesse a call.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, realtor in Port Elgin, a real estate investment opportunity, lending, both borrowing and lending. But more so right now, I'm just really focused on realtor in Saugeen Shores.
And even if you have a question just about
hit me up.
hit him up.
Follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm happy to come talk about real estate, anything, any events, anything.
I'll put the links in the description below here. So,
Thanks,
all right,
brother.
thanks a lot.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Take
That was
care.
awesome, babe.